Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you'd please type number one in that chat box, in that comment section, let me know that you can. I would truly appreciate it. As many of you have heard me say, there's nothing worse than talking to yourself for the next hour without anybody realizing that you are there. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Kevin, Jim, afternoon. Brenda, hey, Trip, afternoon. Roman, good to see you made it. Hey, Glenn. All right, all right, all right. Helen, morning, 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 morning. Where's Jeff? There he is with his 3. Perfect. All right, as we get started here, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes only. Nothing is meant to be advice or recommendations. So we got a lot of stuff going on this week, folks. Got Trading You coming up on the 27th, which is Wednesday. The 28th is Patterns in a Flash, which is Thursday. Next Trading You is coming up August 3rd. Monster Market Movers, Patterns in a Flash Q&A are on there. The Mastermind Group is this Tuesday night. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook and How to Trade the Market are all scheduled for this week. Power Option Plays, or August, no, my bad. How to Trade the Market is August 17th. Power Option Plays, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini are all on their regular schedule. Here's our Follow Us page. Please make sure that you are doing just that, following along with the various social platforms that we have out there. It would be greatly appreciated. And guys, if you haven't seen this, it's getting ready to go away. We did a live training in New York called Charting Your Way to Success. Absolutely amazing training. We taught 2 very specific trade setups in there, all the details, everything behind it. We had a professional crew come in and record the event. We had it up at $995. We recently dropped it to $695, but then said, you know what, we're going to give a discount for anybody that uses this code that we have there. Oh, let me get my video started here. So I thought it was on. I'm talking like this and not seeing anything happen. So anybody uses the discount that's there, Demand Success, capital D, capital S. Lee, if you could drop that in, that would be great. Lee dropped in the link, but he's also going to drop in the code for you. Take advantage of it, folks. This is an amazing on-demand training series. It's full day series, manual. It's all Fibonacci exercises that we do, where I have you draw on the fibs and so forth. It was a great training we did. All right, so take advantage of it. Oh, don't want to share that just yet. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trades that you did today. Drop those trades in the comment section now in that chat box. Drop those in there. If anything comes across on YouTube, Lee grabs that and drops it in here so I can see it. So drop those comments in, those trades in of what you did today. I'd love to see what you guys are up to. Right? Sharing is caring, right? It's a matter of getting it out to the universe, exactly what you're doing. So drop those puppies in. And while that is taking place, let me do this. Let me find this right here, okay? So I'm looking at my other screen to bring that up. All right. Friday night, we did a live training for Power Option Plays students. It's called Mastering the Trade. In that training, one of the things I did is I broke down each symbol that we have in Power Option Plays, how many trades we did, right? How many winners we had, how many losers we had, how many broke even, what was the total P&L? We did not have one stock that we had a negative P&L on. We had plenty of stocks that we had positions go against us. And you can see the number of trades that went against us, 50 out of 200, basically. So about 25% of our trades go against us, ish, okay? Ish. So it's not like trades don't go against us. Then you can see what the per trade P&L was. So the question is, if we look at an Alibaba, is it worth it for us on Alibaba? We did 10 trades, 7 winners, 2 losers, 1 was a break even. We made almost $7 grand on Alibaba, but $691 per trade, right? 0.88% of the entire portfolio of these 20 stocks of the profit, the P&L, came from Baba. Okay, not very exciting, is it? We ran into the same scenario when we looked at PANW. We made decent money, 10 grand on PANW, not complaining there, but we had 5 trades go against us and only 3 winners, right? No break evens out of 8 trades. So look at that, 5, 3, and 8, all fib numbers, right? Woo, maybe we should have kept it. But we decided to get rid of Baba and PANW. They're gone off of our list. And remember, these are all for educational purposes only, right? what we're talking about here. This is had you taken every trade with the exact rules that we follow in POP, right? But we took PANW off. We took Alibaba off. We added Apple and Costco to our list, right? But we were up $784,600 basically on the very first 6 months of the year. I mean, if we follow this path, which I don't think we will, because I see the slowing down already happening, but if we're able to follow this path, we'd be at $1.5 million for the year, which would be fantastic. But I just want you to listen. I'm sharing this for no other reason. It's not to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you're trading a basket of stocks, you need to do this analysis. We do this every quarter in Power Option Plays to analyze exactly what we're looking at. Right? What stocks do we have, and do we want to make changes? We even keep a change log now, so we can see where we changed them and who we changed it to. Right? So we started with Alibaba, we changed it to Apple, and this is the date that we changed it. Right? So we have a log of who that is. Right now, do we have some really big numbers here? We do, absolutely, and not surprising. Right? You know, you take an Amazon, huge numbers. Right? 14 trades. It equates to 12.5%. Google, 16 trades equates to 14%. Here's what I love. Netflix, much lower price stock, equates to 11.5%. Tesla, higher, lower, higher intermediate price, it equates for 11%, right? Booking, surprisingly enough, we only had 5 trades on it. We're up 32 grand on Booking, but we just closed a trade out on Booking for $52,000 for one trade, right? Over about 14, 15 days, I think it was, something like that. I could check it, right? But overall, amazing moves, right? So we have stuff all over the place. 6 grand, 7 grand on Alibaba, right? All the way up to 109 grand on Google. Now that's going to change, right? Amazon is no longer a $1,000+ stock. Google is no longer a $1,000 stock. Tesla is going to split soon. They're 20-for-1 next month, right? So 3 of our major stocks are taking huge haircuts, which is why companies like Netflix giving us 91 grand for this year, right? And Nvidia giving us 43 grand, and Roku, $100 stocks, guys. Roku, PayPal, Square. Now some of these came later in the game, right? But Square, we're up $25,000. I mean, if you guys know who Square is, right? $71 stock. $71 stock, and look at what we're up on it. Now, it was higher for some of our trades, don't get me wrong, okay? But we're talking about 25 grand. On a $75 stock, I would take it all day long. Right? All day long. Roku, also in that same basket, a little bit higher price, but 11 trades, 10 winners, 1 loser, $38,000, right? You need to analyze your trades just like this. And we break it out even further. I do the breakout by every single trade, right? So as an example right here, this is Adobe and Amgen, right? You can see every trade, what it equates to, total P&L, the average P&L, percent of the P&L. It's all right there. This is what's on the other page, okay? But you can see everything there. So each one line item detail is in our recent manual that the users can go back through and look over, okay? So Babo wasn't bad. It's just it didn't give us enough P&L for the work we did. $195, $195. These 2 became a wash. These 2 became a wash. This was a break even, okay? All right, so let's see what you guys did. Very little trading going on, I guess, today. Gary said scalps on the Qs, spies, U.S. Steel, strangle setup on GM for overnight earnings. Okay, there you go. Good job. Let's see. Brenda said $210 on, you guessed it, the Qs. I love it, Brenda. That's awesome. COP was great. There you go, Karen. Excellent. Did any of you guys get to see, I couldn't do videos this morning. There was just other stuff going on. It's been a real busy day. Some of you know there's been some family issues that we're dealing with the family member. But did anybody get to watch the video that Sean did this morning on the pre-market? Give me a 1 if you did. I'd love to know if you guys got to see it and what you thought of it, right? Sean's a performer. He's in a band. He's played in front of thousands of people before, and yet he gets in front of a camera and he's, I guess, in a different, he's in a different place. I saw it on Instagram, Karen. Yeah, I saw it on Instagram this morning. I liked it actually. So,
hey guys, it's Sean from Wealth Builders HQ, filling in for Rob. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pre-market moves. So let's take a look at the futures. On the ES, we're starting to see that trading is.
he did a good job. He really did. I was impressed. Yeah, I know it's hard to hear, Jim. Sorry. It would be on the Wealth Builders channel on Instagram. PK said he's going to be the new breakout teacher on WBHQ. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, he did a good job. I appreciated him jumping in and taking care of it for me this morning. But guys, that's where I said, follow along with what we do. Make sure you ring bells. You know, you'll have a better chance of seeing them. That video is probably on Instagram today, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Those 4 markets is where we normally publish that video. No, Kevin, it wasn't market mornings. What I'm doing is, again, it's summertime. Today I didn't have the opportunity to get in there, right? We said we're going to look at it and reconsider what we're doing come once the summer is over. So market mornings is on hold right now through the summer, but I still, listen, I'm doing the work anyway for myself. As long as I'm out there checking the markets, I do a quick, 60-second recording of the market on my phone. I do a quick 60-second recording of the top 3 candidates I'm looking at, which also include the 3 we looked at from yesterday. And on every day we've done this so far, we've hit home runs every single day. All credit spreads, all using the same strategies. We don't get into strategy. It's just, this is the candidates. You choose the strategy, but those of you that follow me in the mornings know why I do credit spreads. We're taking advantage of huge premiums that tend to dissipate very quickly in many cases, instead of going after directional trades, which cost us huge premiums that start to dissipate, go down very quickly, right? So they've worked well for us up to this point. Yeah, probably would have worked better, Jim, at the mic. You're right. So yeah, I'm not sure if you got it, Jim. You may have said it, typed it in before, but Instagram, LinkedIn, I'm pretty sure, but Instagram, I'm sure, Twitter, I'm sure, Facebook, I'm sure. They should be on all of those on our pages. And everything is here, right? If you look at this page, Rob Roy Fib Trader is the Instagram channel, the Twitter channel. Wealth Builders HQ is Instagram. WealthBuildersHQ.com. Wealth Builders HQ is YouTube and LinkedIn and so forth, right? Facebook, Wealth Builders HQ. Okay. Let's see. I appreciate that, Brenda. Thank you. Yeah, we lost a family member that was just a couple of days old. He passed away. So let's see. All right. I missed anything? Karen said Conoco was good. John said Wheel of Fortune on SPY and AMC, $600 cash flow. Ka-ching. Great job, John. Great job. Really, I love it, man. Absolutely loving it. All right. So you all know that Amelia is our head trader here, right? She has a service called Trade Watch Alerts, which she does phenomenal with. She publishes her results every day. She publishes her monthly results on the website every month of exactly what she's doing in her Trade Watch Alerts. So on today, it was SPY. So on Spiders and Qs, Amelia is a fib person, through and through. Okay, she believes in trading fib numbers, right? So she'll trade 3 contracts on a regular trade. She trades 13 contracts on SPYs and Qs because there's a lot less cost in them. And she does debit spread, she does credit spread, she does directional trades, pivot points, all of that in her text messages that go out in the morning. So here today, 9:41, you're seeing green. 9:41 this morning, right here, right, was buy to open 13 contracts of the SPY, right, 393 calls, and they're for the weeklies that are expired today, today's 25, right? Today's 25th. 393 calls. She bought them at 219. So if you have, I think that, okay. If you have 219 times 100 shares, For you to do this trade, you need $219, right? For one contract. If you do what Amelia did, 13 contracts, it's $28.47. Okay. So $28.50. She sold them at $3.18. So 99-cent profit. So 99 cents times 100 shares is $99. Now we're talking about getting out of this trade in 4 minutes, almost to the second, 4 minutes, right? 45% rate of return. She picked up 99 cents. If you did it for her 13 contracts, $1,287. I would venture to say some of you could stop going to work if you could do this just 1 day a week, because $1,287 times 50 weeks, I'm going to give you 2 weeks off of vacation. You deserve it, don't you? That's $64,000 a year. Now I realize some of you are like, Rob, I can't live on 64 grand. I make a lot more than that. I understand. Don't do 13 contracts. This is only one trade, one time a week. That's all this is. Amelia does these every single day, and these are posted every day on our Twitter channel, right? Which is Rob Roy Fib Trader. Right? It's called Trade du Jour. And then an email, not an email, rather, if you are registered for text messages with us, a text message comes out as well that says the Trade du Jour was published or posted. Let's see, market alerts. All right, so Friday at 3:06, Trade du Jour has been published on twitter.com/Rob Roy Fib Trader. All right, so I mean, that is a standard every day that gets sent out. So you can go back and look, just like Amelia did here. You can go back and look at a picture of what she did, of where she got in, where she got out. She got in on this candle, got out on the same candle. Everything was moving in her direction. It was a fast trade, and that was the goal. Picked up $1 in 1 minute, 99 cents. Let's call a spade, right? 99 cents. I appreciate that, Linda. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. As well as Brenda. Excellent. Okay, so I didn't get a whole lot of trades off today. I did go through and look at my list on Pop, right, of my candidates, including the 2 new ones, taking the 2 old ones out, adding Apple and Costco back. And the funny thing is, Apple and Costco, they were on our list before. We've traded them before. Costco seems to be doing extremely well. Really nice moves on Costco every day. So that's good, because they're going to replace what would be a bigger stock, like not quite an Amazon, but a higher price stock. They'll take over for. And Apple, they're more of that low to moderate, intermediate priced position right now for them. Okay. So yeah, Brenda, Amelia is awesome. She does a great job every day with Trade Watch alerts. I'm blown away by her regularly on what she comes up with. So I looked at what we had here today. Nothing that really excited me. Right, I looked at Apple. Yeah, okay, not really much there, right? And the last candle is the most recent one, right? So this is current, for today. It's a live chart. Adobe, we've dropped down. Oh, but Rob, you could take in the bearish trade. Yeah, maybe, but there was moving averages in the way, so there was no clear path. Right, Amazon in the middle of nowhere. Right, Booking, really not doing anything. Too far away with the 21. Same thing, a lot of moving averages on Chipotle, Costco, maybe, but the 8 moving averages right in the middle of my fib lines. Google, after their split, guys, I'm waiting on Google, right? I have not entered on Google right now. I am in on Amazon. I still have room for one more piece of my full position. So I'm 80% of where I want to be right now on my Amazon entry. Google, I have not taken a share yet. I didn't like where we were when we opened up on that split, meaning right here, we were in the middle, right? When you look at these trend lines, we were kind of in the middle. And some of you will say, well, Rob, how did you know that we were in the middle? We didn't do anything yet. We didn't open, but we did, right? Because if you go and hit the letter U, this was where we were before. Once we split, it takes all the history from the day of the split historically, and it splits it down as if it was always that price, right? Hit the letter U, hit it again to put it back. So when I saw that pattern, I went, I'm not really liking it, right? We moved up a little bit, couldn't get the height to keep this bullish trend going. And sure enough, we broke down, we're at 107. So instead of picking it up at 112, it's at 107 right now. I'm still going to get in with 4 or 5 entries is my goal. I've got a plan of when to get in, right? And that's what we're looking at right now on a Google, but not quite there yet, right? Goldman Sachs, was okay. I could have taken a bearish trade on it, but very bullish, not true bull, but bullish. Same thing on Home Depot, MasterCard, kind of flip-flop there. Meta, I looked at them, never really got up to the 171.57 level, which is this line right here. Never got close enough for me to take the entry. So no trade was taken there. Netflix, nothing really excited me about it. Opened up, didn't pull back enough. By the way, Netflix is still right now one of my favorite companies to trade. Nvidia as well, another one of my favorites. PayPal is okay. I mean, $78, $80 stock that moves, $3.50 a day. Roku is a $90 stock that moves $7 a day. That I like a lot. SPY is okay, not a great move. Same thing on Square, nothing there. Ooh, Square, nothing there. Tesla, yeah, we got to move down, but the 100-point level right below us. United Healthcare was in the middle, so nothing to take there. And WBHQ just wasn't an exciting day for me. And that's because, guys, when we look at the S&P 500, which is our transition into where we're going to look next, we look at the S&P 500, we had this great run. It was a great run to the upside. An amazing run from back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, don't count today, of the last 7 were up. 2 bearish days in there, right? We broke above, we did everything we needed to do. We broke above the moving averages, okay? The 8 and 21, the 8 and 21 then crossed. We got above the recent highs, right? That was the lower high. We got above that right here. We got above the previous high right here. We closed above the 55. We got above everything we needed to, and then there's a little bit of weakness in there. So we've had such a great move recently. And then you look at the last 4 days, 3 days, we're up and down a little bit, but it's realistically a sideways move. We're really not getting enough momentum to go, time to take the trade. Yeah, okay. It's day trade maybe, plenty of day trade things out there. But for my staples, I didn't find anything that was awesome to take that trade. I mean, if we look, and I just saw that I had an error on this page, which I'll show you what it is. I've got to fix it for the next pop update. So if you look, I know it's a little hard to see. It's a little bit small. Yeah, I don't have this picture. All right. So if you look, we started off with 62 trades in January, then 30, and I am, let me just show you where. I am here. Okay. 62 trades. 33, 48, 26, 25, 20, right? So we've steadily been moving down and our numbers have dropped. We were 200,000+ 2 months in a row, 131,000. Then we've been under 100. Now we're half 100 at 58 for the month of June. Okay. But let me see if I've got it open. It's going to open. So let me just, I'm going to stop the share for a second, guys. So you just get to look at a bigger me. Yeah, I just need to take that off. All right, no, that's fine. I didn't know where this was going to open up. Okay. So, we're doing okay. When you look at July, I haven't tallied it up yet. Plus, there's another $4,000 on the other page. For the month of July, we're at 74 grand already. And we are 25 days in. So we've picked up from where we were last month. I'm hoping last month becomes our low point and we get a little bit of a bounce right now. Yes, a lot of this was booking. A lot of it was booking. 52, almost 53 grand. Let's see. Jim said SPX around second week of June until third week of July. Could you consider it a rectangle and we possibly have broken out of? So let me go take a look at the dates there, Jim. So, and then on top of that, there's another $4,000 right here. That's 4,800. That's open, right? So in other words, I really need to put these here. So 79 grand. I said almost 80 grand there. Right? Let me delete that out. Okay. So, and again, guys, it's not to impress you. That's not why I do this. My winning personality should be what impresses you. Other than that, that's not why I'm here. All right, so we look at S&P 500. Jim said from second week of June till around the third week of July. Okay, so let me back this out on SPX. Second week of June. So that would be about the 14th. So right here. If you're looking at, I mean, you've got to. All right, so what I see, all right, Jim, how about this? So we had that in there. This definitely was a breakout from that. We did the same exact thing without putting it as a rectangle. We were using the 37.6446 and the 37.0919 level. And I would talk about how we had this break above this 39.07 level. Excuse me, 39.07, we broke above and closed. We popped up a little bit higher, we failed, and then that was the big fail right there. We did it one more time with Wix, 2 days in a row. Ooh, let's go check it out. Whoosh. And finally, on this day, with a vengeance, we closed above that 39.07. That was the indication of breakout, and there was some SPY trades to be had right there, as well as other companies, but right there on that. So, but yes, Jim, you could have looked at that overall as a rectangle and a breakout. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. C. All right, so let me go. I don't know where my manual is anymore. Let's see. I got so much stuff open right now. One more time. There we go. Okay. So let's talk about earnings outlooks or outlook. Okay. We've had a lot of companies announce earnings already. I put my tracking sheet away so I can clean up the work area for today as we get started to teach. And Apple, Amazon, Booking, Chipotle, Google, Home Depot, MasterCard, PayPal, Roku, and Square all have earnings coming out within the next 3 weeks. All of them, all three of them have earnings coming out in the next 3 weeks. Let me just shut that off. Right, which is a lot of companies. Basically, we have 11 of our 20 stocks that we track on POP have earnings coming out next week. And all I do, guys, is I put this blue line right there, this blue highlight. I just highlight it in blue to let me know, hey, earnings are coming out. And if it's confirmed, I have a little check mark next to it that it's been confirmed. Okay. So if you look at, who's announced already, major names. Okay. First off, Alcoa, AA, they're the unofficial start of earnings season. That doesn't mean they're going to do good or bad in the rest of the market. There's none of that. It's just by the time or when Alcoa announces earnings is about when earnings season starts. In other words, that's when you start to see a lot of companies starting to announce earnings. I don't really trade them, but that's kind of a when's Alcoa announcing? Okay, that's when earnings season starts. That's all you use that for, okay? So who's announced already up to this point? Adobe has been a while back, right? Costco is in August. Goldman Sachs had a good announcement, right? You can see where the earnings were. They came out here, boom. That next day after that announcement, look at that. Just actually, they gapped up on the announcement. The next day, they had good news on it again because we traded it both days, okay? So Goldman Sachs overall has done amazing, right? So Goldman Sachs to the plus side. From there, we had Netflix. All right, so Netflix right here. Okay, look at the gap up because they announced after the market. Look at that gap up. Okay. Actually, it might have been on this day itself. I don't remember. No, that would have been when they announced. Yeah. So big move up right there, and they've continued from that. So Netflix, we had to the plus side, okay? On top of that, the other big one that we wind up with is Tesla. Right, Tesla announced their earnings, massive earnings, guys. It broke them out of this major top here at 746. And I could see one of my doctors, my cardiologist, I could see him just drooling on this day. I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks. I could see him drooling on this day because he's a big Tesla fan. He's buying it constantly. It's a huge portion of his portfolio, right? And he knows what goes on with these guys. He's really good at it, right? So they also were to the upside, right? United Healthcare was another one that announced, okay? So they gapped up and they've kind of gone channel, right? There's a lot of opportunity when you see something like this, 519 up to 530. I mean, $11 move, you can make some serious coin on an $11 intraday range with our stocks. Now, it hasn't done that in the last 3 days, right? Today being one of those three. So Thursday, Friday, and today. It hasn't done that in one day, but we've got, the movement is there. We did it in 3. If it took you 3 days to move $11, how disappointed are you that it wasn't 1? Right? You're gonna say, nah, I don't want the money. I wanted 1. Take it back. Here, you can have it. Of course not, right? So when you look at earnings right now, what's going on? Earnings have proved to be positive for many companies, not all. You've got other companies out there like Snapchat, right? Where earnings were not so good. Okay, Kaplunk, right out there with their earnings. They're $9.97, right? You've got other companies like Gamestop out there. Now, Gamestop, I think, is coming up, right? So here was their split. Yeah, their earnings are still coming up. Here was their split. So I think that some of these companies made a mistake. GameStop in particular made a mistake doing a 4-for-1 split with their price of their stock where it was. I get it, 160, but now you're splitting down to 40. So what's going on with their earnings now? If they have bad earnings, they go from $33 a share down to 27. I just think if you lower the price too much, it makes it less desirable for traders. And what I mean by that is it's a lot harder for me to find a day trade that I can make enough money on a GameStop, a $30 or $20 stock, that if it starts to just drop even further, it makes it that much harder, and I'll go find a different company to trade, someone else to follow. They're not it. I mean, I like GameStop. Their volatility was awesome. Right now, not sure. Amazon, they're going to be there. I don't think they're going to be thousands of dollars in share price again, but they are going to have some increase in price. At least I believe they will from where they're at. So right now, the earnings outlook is good on some of the major techs, but there is some mixed feelings out there right now on some of the majors. Twitter had come out with earnings and it was kind of muted. And I think a lot of that is because it is all what's going on around Elon Musk and the purchase of Twitter by Musk. Yay or nay, is he going to or not going to do it? I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent. I do like some of the memes I've seen on Instagram of after Musk buys Instagram, GameStop is next or whatever. And then I saw one that said after Musk buys Instagram, he's going to take over the government or something like that, which good, bad, or indifferent, right? Because I don't know, politicians don't necessarily all do the right things anyway. But I love some of the memes that have come out since it. But the thought of, is he going to buy or not? Is he going to try to back out? Is he going to have to pay the $1 billion back out fee? I don't know. So right now, I was on, I get asked every week, I'm brought on to a show by a company called Benzinga. They're a big news outlet. They just got sold to a major company, huge sale. But I come on as an options specialist to talk options tradings, options strategies, and so forth. And one of the students, one of the members had asked about earnings and felt that doing strangles and getting it early was the better way to go. And I'm not saying there aren't ways to trade that, folks. We used to trade many, many years ago, back in the early 2000s, 2002, 3, 4, 5, we used to trade a strategy called a chicken trade, which was a strangle. Basically, you go and you trade on both sides, right? You buy the calls and you buy the puts, long directional, a long strangle. You can do shorts as well, but you're now in a short call. You do a long strangle where you buy a call, buy a put. Let's say you pay $2 for the call, $2 for the put. So you spent $4. If the stock moves enough, you're making money, right? On the one, let's say it goes up. The put goes to 0. You don't care because that call is now worth $7. You spent $4 and life is good. But the market maker is jacking premium up now very early on, 2 and 3 weeks, 4 weeks in advance of earnings. They're jacking the volatilities up, the implied volatilities. They're jacking premiums up on the options. They're opening up the bid-ask spreads. And in many cases, the announcement comes out, the stock makes a major move, and both your calls and puts go down in value. It's like, what? What? I've had it happen. Had it happen. Thousands of dollars lost overnight with strategies like that, which is how we found out that they just weren't working the same any longer for that chicken trade strategy. To me, the strategy for earnings is either a couple of different things. A, you could trade the majors, the Netflixes, the Amazons, the Bookings, maybe, Booking is okay. Meta, Google, you could trade them in the aftermarket when the market's closed and they announce. You're not trading them, you're trading the NQ, which is what Brandon teaches, guys. You got to check out what Brandon does. Actually, if you haven't heard, we have a live event in New York coming up in October where Brandon is teaching a full live day training in New York, right? And it's going to be tied into when we do our Mastermind Inner Circle bonus live event that we do that week. So one day apart, Thursday, Friday. Thursday is Brandon, Friday is the Mastermind training. So you can trade it with the futures. That's one way, right? You can wait until the announcement comes out and you can trade directionally if you want. That's 2 ways, but I prefer to let the announcement come out and trade with a credit spread. Volatilities are high. Market makers jacking it up. They're jacking up premiums. They know, listen, you may look at open interest and say, well, there's 200. That's 200 open interest of that option. How many of them are buy to opens? How many are sell to opens? You have no idea. You absolutely have no idea. Market maker can look at that and say, if we jack premiums up, there's only 20 contracts that could get us in trouble by us having to pay too much for them. But we're going to rip people off when they go to exit out of this or buy for a lower price or whatever it is. They can make adjustments in there. Right? Market makers see all that. We're not seeing what's inside of that open interest. And I don't need to, right? But when that premium goes up, and you'll see with some of the free stuff I do in the morning when I throw things out, whether it's market mornings or the pre-market picks that we do, which are 1-minute videos, folks, go look for them. It's 2 1-minute videos a day, right? In those pre-market picks, one on the market, one on the candidates. And I talk about, here's my 3 for the day. I mean, the last ones we did, were American Express, Micron, and STX, and they all did extremely well. The day before was DHR, Tesla, and UAL, all did well. All right, so you can trade those with a credit spread instead. So earnings outlook, the outlook is bleak if you continue to try to get in my opinion, and guess which way it's going to go. Now, if you're right, beautiful. But here's the only way guessing is okay. What is guessing? Buying before it comes out. Buying before it comes out is a guess. No, I know it's going to go up. No, you feel like it's going to go up. You don't know it's going to go up. And if you know, we probably need to have SEC checking you out. If you really know, because you know something you probably shouldn't know, right? Only politicians' husbands are allowed to do that, right? You can't do that, folks. You can't, you're not knowing. You don't know. It's a guess, right? It may be educated guess, but it's still a guess. To me, the best way, the outlook for earnings is to trade them the way that I laid it out for you. Right? Are you going to crush it? Nope. But if you can get on base over and over and over and over and over again, and you've got a very small dollar amount invested in that trade because they're day trades that you're in that in most cases, right? Life will do good. It will do very good for you. Tripp said banks usually the first week, Netflix and AA the second week. Big techs the third week, i.e. this week. Gamestop is August 31. Thanks, Tripp. I appreciate it. Yeah, Tripp has done. Guys, when I first taught our earnings strategy by trading the NQ, using the NQ based on the earnings that came out on the individual stocks. NASDAQ stocks. And we basically had 8 or 10 stocks that we traded on. Again, Facebook, Amazon, Google, and the likes, Tesla, and so forth, right? We first started that strategy. We built that strategy as a group, as a team inside of Immunity Think Tank when I was running it way back when. And it's a great strategy. It truly is. Tripp probably took it further than anybody else. When he now tracks every quarter, he tracks, what is it, like 60 stocks, Tripp? I think it is. He's tracking like 60 companies, I think, of what's going on with the earnings, how they react, and so forth. 80 plus now, he said. 80 plus stocks that he tracks. Guys, I have one coach that I used to work with that did this. And as he and I were talking one day, he realized that what he was sitting on was literally worth tens of thousands of dollars to other traders, right? Maybe someday Tripp will publish some of that stuff with us, right? But by knowing the companies and knowing the when and the where and the how and the who and the why, and exactly, PK, it was Doug. Yep, it was Doug. Who, what, where, why, when, and how, by knowing that about the companies, right? And learning the heartbeat, building a dossier, as Ryan says, right, on that stock, you've got a great opportunity to know what to do with it. So the outlook on earnings is mixed as far as where they're going to go, folks. I don't have a clue the up or down, but we've seen the market increase dramatically since some of the major stocks that we just talked about have announced their earnings. So it looks like we're leaning more to the upside, but remember, there's a lot of other political news out there that could change this and turn it around. If OPEC comes back out and says, yeah, forget it. Remember we were saying we might increase? Yeah, we're decreasing production now. Ha, take that and smoke it, right? Something that goes on with the war between Ukraine and Russia, right? Could cause that, right? The president of the United States getting COVID, right? Biden getting COVID, and God forbid he's incapacitated and he can't perform any longer. And now we've got to switch over to the vice president. I'm not saying she's good or bad, but is the country confident in someone they didn't elect as president? It's kind of like New York right now, where we didn't elect Hochul as governor, but she's our governor, right? Just by, I can't think of the word, attrition, right? The other one went, the new one comes in, right? So all of these things could happen. Powell, who knows what they're going to do? We've got the Fed this week, right? You've got to be hyper focused on what's going on, and you need to get really good at being in position number one in the chair, which is back here, and analyzing what's taking place. Don't be so hyper focused just on today. Man, I see today what is, yeah, today is great. Look at that bigger picture, right? Got it, Tripp. Oh, I knew that. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, PK. We try to not really watch news. So I don't really know whatever happened with COVID. I know that they said he was comfortable and blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. That's good. I mean, I don't wish ill on anybody. There's no one that I wish ill to become of, whether I like a person or not, views or whatever it is. I would always hope that he has a long and happy life. But it's those types of things could affect what happens with market. And we've got to be cautious of that. Cognizant of that, because we know it's out there. Leslie said, add in earnings are good and stocks go down, earnings are poor, and sometimes stocks go up. Exactly. So it's what happened? So a lot of times, folks, remember, earnings is not about what the earnings are. It's not. It is, but it isn't. Companies already come out and said, we believe we're going to have 42 cents a share in earnings. They've already announced it. It's not the earnings. It's not what it is. It's the forward-looking guidance. Earnings were awesome, but we can't get our hands on any more raw materials, so we're dead, right? That is the news, not the earnings coming out now. They play a part a little bit into it if they miss or beat, but even that, we plan on making 42 cents a share. We made 58 cents. May not sound like much, but realistically, if you said 42 cents and you made 43, that's a huge difference. 1 penny, huge difference, right? And then they look for one word, but. That's it. That's all it took. But we see the next quarter as being weak. And here's the reasons why. Supply chain. There was someone on CNBC this morning as I was making my celery juice this morning. I had it on over my shoulder. And there was someone talking over there. It was late. I'd made it very late this morning. Excuse me. Again, stuff to do today. And there was someone talking about one of the ports and they're so backed up, and it's not the ships coming in, it's getting the truckers to get it out. So they literally have freight now that's sitting on ships that they're not letting into ports because they can't overburden the port, where they have to move 10 things just to get to one container now to finally get it loaded. They would kill the port, they said. They won't do it, right? So it's very much a double-edged sword or quadruple-edged sword of what's going on right now market-wise. All of that could change, and these great earnings could be announced, and we could see the market tumble and crash all over again. There you go, Roman. Great job. 109 ticks on the NQ so far. Good job. Excellent. Tripp said Long Beach is clogged and LA is being cyber attacked. One of my favorite shows of all times ever, and it only lasted, I think, 2 seasons, was CSI Cyber. It's back on one of the off channels now, and I record it and go back and watch the shows in the evening. I like it, man. And they were very early on. That was in the early 2000s of cyber crimes. Today, the stuff that goes on is just brutal, right? All right, drop in the candidates you want me to take a look at, folks. Let's see. Roman said, how grateful I am that I was in Rob's E-mini and now in Brandon's. LOL. Yeah, Roman will be the first one, guys, to talk about how he uses some of what I teach and some of what I do, some of what Brandon does, a little bit of what Amelia does, and he made Roman from that. That's where Roman as a trader came from, those various coaches. It's not a matter of everything I do, you do, right? Put you inside of my brain. If you knew what was in there, it'd scare you. It really would. Right? My wife and I are watching a show now called Stranger Things. It would be much scarier than that, right? So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look. Brenda's in first at the Qs. Q. All right. So right now, Brenda, we're in a bullish bias, not true bull, but bullish enough to take a directional trade. We have a confluence of the 8, the 55, and the 300 level right there with room up to 309.5, right? So if we can close here and get a bounce, bullish markets tomorrow, I like the potential to the upside here. A lot of strength between that 300 and the 298.5, which is where the 8 is, right? I like it a lot. If you violate, 293.43 is the next support. Obviously, we're not going to let it go all the way down there, but that's where our next support is. All right. I hope that helps. Tripp is up second. IBM is one of them. We got our Tripp trio in there. You're welcome, Brenda said. I'm scared. Thank you. Okay. So let's see. Let me pull this out a little bit. Right, an itty-bitty machine. So their earnings came out. You can see how they were not good. Right, IBM has not done well for a long time now. Price-wise, they've been in the gutter, right, for a while. I mean, it wasn't COVID per se. I mean, they were up, $180 back in 17, right, and now they're 130. They're too blue chip. They're too stodgy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, folks. Listen, they move. Let me just pull this in a little bit. $3.50 a day. I mean, it's not like you can't make money on them, right? Tripp, they are a switchback trade, where they are right now, right? Where they closed yesterday, Friday, they're a switchback trade. What is a switchback trade? It can go either direction. We look for wicked swings in either direction. We had a nice move up, bumping our head on ugly, which is that resistance, that red line right here, bumping our head on that. Move it in, right? Right in here, bumping our head. Come on. All right, there we go. Bumped our head right on there. We could roll over and move down to the purple line. We can break out, bounce, and move up to the next fib line, which has a confluence of the 8 moving average, no less. Right? So right now we're looking at 125 on the downside, 131.5 on the upside. I like this as a switchback trade, very much. I'm going to make a note of it, actually. All right, cool. Let's see, AMD. AMD was one of the potentials that we had for pop. Didn't work out for us. You can see what earnings are coming up. Let's see. So overall trip, they're in a bearish pattern. I'd love to see them under the 83.74 level with 77.5 as our next target. Break, retest, fail. The break on the upside, I'd want the break of the 91.5. Right? Retest, fail. Trip said IBM is a good example of earnings confusion. Their earnings were actually good, but something else is going on with the sale of a division. There you go. You just don't know at this point, right? And then we have Micron, MU. Okay, so hold this out a little bit. All right. So again, I'd rather see it in a bearish position than bullish. Bullish, I want to get above 65. Bearish, we're already bearish, the overall pattern, right? We're in a neutral bias right now. Yeah. The only thing is we're a good distance through trip on that 21 moving average. Yeah, it's more than 25% away. So we got to be careful with that one. Very careful with that. Right? But that 58.5 is the next downside target. I hope that helped, Trip. Jim's asking for Delta Airlines. So I like Delta. I liked when they came out and said that they were going to be the first airline to be profitable this year. And then they just kind of said, yeah, we're going to go down anyway. And there's a lot of things behind it. The government trying to build policy of fines if they cancel flights to protect the consumer, which is probably not a bad thing. Cost of fuel, uncertainty of fuel costs, a lot of that, not flying into certain areas again now. COVID in China. I mean, all of this concerns, right? So let's see, 29 to 32 is 3. So we're barely at a pivot there. Jim, we're definitely going to need one on the other side, though. We definitely need a pivot down here. So the negative 136. I love the bearish side of it. 32 down to 28, 29. It's not a big move, but it's a $32 stock. But I'm a big fan, guys. When you can get them moving in your direction, I like some of these airline stocks, American Airline, Delta Airline. I like some of these airline stocks as covered calls, diagonal spreads, things like that. They work well. All right. Oh, I'm not sure, Brenda. All right. Karen's asking for Cop and Cat. All right, so on COP, on Conoco, we got the breakout today. We're in a neutral bias right now. You got room up to 96. Break to the downside, I like it a lot better down to that 77. Actually, we need 87, 96.9. We need both negative 136 and a 118 in here. All right, so that's Conoco, and the next one was Caterpillar. This was one that we contemplated also, right, Friday night for our list on POP. So we're pinned between the 8 and 21. I need something to happen on this, Karen. I would much prefer the break below 176. 61 to 76 is 15. All right, we need pivots on both sides. So negative 136. And a 118. All right, so I'd like to break below the 176 to retest and fail down to 168.5. Hope that helps, Karen. Kevin said APA and it's bullish. So, Kevin, I'm not seeing anything that I like about this for bullish at this point. I mean, if you're looking at a day trade, maybe up to the 21 moving average, but I don't see anything in here that's floating my boat. Nothing that's exciting me. Nothing that's getting me, all worked up with no place to go. Yeah, a little caution there. Let's see. GLTB, Kevin also asked for. GL. Nope, that's why. GTLB. I don't do well with 4 digits if I don't know what it is. GTLB. I invert 2 of them all the time. Oh boy. Newer. Oof. Newer candidate. So I'm not seeing anything fib-wise that I really like on here. Who's this? GitLab. Not seeing anything fib-wise that I really like on it. I mean, the first fib that came up was great. Actually, that's the one I'm going to work with. It's just we got big moves in there. All right, so 52 to 70. Yep, we need Fibbits on this. 136 and a 118. How interesting that we put that Fibbit in and we keep bumping our head on it. So Kevin, you got to watch. I'd like to see the breakout above that 61 retest and bounce, and then 70 is your upside target. All right, I hope that helped. Yeah, schedule could be in your mind. You should be, Brenda. I am. Oh, good, Brenda. I'm glad you figured it out. All right, so Qualcomm, that is Gary. Let's see. So Gary, overall trend was bearish. We are now in a true bullish bias, which I like very much. I don't quite have a confluence, but I'd love to see the close near that 157.5, 152, 152 and a quarter, somewhere around there, maybe even 152 and a half, but not really much higher than that. And then a bounce. And if it does close higher, I would want to retest and a bounce. And you got 159 as your target. Plenty of room to get there, Fibbit wise. So life is good from that perspective, right from that point. So excellent. How was it, folks? Was it helpful today? I don't ask that question enough in here. If you guys liked it, did you enjoy it? Remember, 1 for yes, 2 for no, and Jeff's the only one that's allowed to do a 3. Jeff's the only one that does a 3 usually. Yeah, there we go. 3, of course. Do I hear a 4? Just says, well, Trip made up for it. He put 8 ones in, right? Kevin said always. Good. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate it. I know it's summertime. We're getting a little bit of a smaller crowd, not a lot, but a little bit of a smaller crowd right now. But listen, caution is the word right now, folks. That's all I could say. Be very cautious around earnings season. You gotta focus on what's going on, right? Because you can and will get your head cut off if you're not paying attention. All right. So with that, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Take care, everybody. I will see you at our next update. All right. Bye for now.